LaVon's urban folk art, created by a Kentucky-based, self-taught woodcarver, painter, and educator, whose skills are generational. After playing basketball professionally, he returned to his first passion, art. His art grew and continues to grow and is influenced by historical and cultural experiences. In a moment, you will see more. The Art of Shadow is created by North Carolina artist, singer, motivational speaker, Clara Debnam. She graduated Divinity School May of 2017. Her art is historical and social commentary. Her parents, Dorothy and the late Reverend Chester Debnam, made her the artist you meet today. I am your host, Pearl Williams. Let's go meet the artist.
Welcome, artists. Have fun selling art. LaVon, would you like to start with your first three?
My first three works, my first work is called Mother, Mother. And Mother, Mother, it represents the mother, all of our mothers. It also represents when I was a kid, the Southern mothers that I always grew up with, my mother, my grandmother. And also it reflects the times that Marvin Gaye talks about Mother, Mother.
And Mother, Mother is $800. She's carved in the round, and she will fit perfectly in your home, on your mantle, in your bedroom, everywhere.
The second piece that I'm going to show is called Rain Falling Down Like Hail. It refers to the great Robert Johnson and the blues legend ascended the crossroads. Robert Johnson is one of my favorite artists. Country blues, I love country blues. My grandfather was a country blues musician from Georgia. And it's also carved in the round, but it also tells the story of Robert Johnson partying late at night and messing with a lot of women, as he would say. Robert Johnson, Rain Falling Down Like Hail.
And Rain Falling Down Like Hail goes at $600.
When I was in Denver as a kid, I met a lot of jazz musicians, also a lot of blues musicians. And it was one bassist in particular said that every night he gets to dance with a tall, red-headed girl. And this is called Tall, Red-Headed Girl. It's carved in the round, again, front and back. And the reason why it's carved in the round, the front and back, so that I have balance.
Dancing with a Tall, Red-Headed Girl goes for $800. Beautiful.
This work is called Marvin, and it's representative of the old dances, the basement parties, the rent parties, and it's called Marvin. There are no guns, there are no knives, and no ice picks at this party.
And Marvin sells for $600.
Marvin.
Marvin, $600. Thank you, LaVon. And in our wonderful collaboration, we're gonna move over to Clara Debnam.
The first work that I'll be presenting is Mr. Good Trouble. Mr. Good Trouble is inspired by John Lewis and his famous motto, which is written here in the background. When you see something that is not right, that is not fair, that is not just, say something, do something, get in trouble, necessary trouble, good trouble. The price of this image is $30. It will come to you in this plastic package and is ready for your standard frame of 13 by 19.
Number 2, Clara.
Piece number 2 is Baldwin Sent Us. This particular piece was, of course, inspired by James Baldwin, the poet, activist, playwright extraordinaire, and I believe his work continues to inspire so many people, and his legacy lives on through those individuals. This is a 13 by 19 print on cardstock, also available for $30.
And Clara, is there something special about this piece more than it being just James Baldwin?
This piece, I was commissioned to paint on Arena Stage, which is a theater here in Washington, D.C. So if you are able to get to the D.C. area in the next few months, you will find this piece on Arena Stage's window.
Fabulous.
Piece number 3 is entitled Listen. As you can see, the image was constructed in one line. If you follow here and go around, I was able to draw this in one line. But this piece inspires us to take a load off of the busyness of the day and to make space to just be present and to just listen, really listen. And this is 13 by 19 print on cardstock that's ready to go in any standard frame.
Number 4.
Number 4 is entitled Let's Talk. This piece is inspired by my late dog Shadow. Here you find him as well as a mouse who's trying to get to this hole and them in conversation. And this is just an encouragement to make space to talk with individuals. Oftentimes we can have misunderstandings, and it's solely from not making space to talk to one another. Let's Talk, 13 by 19, digital print on cardstock.
Beautiful. LaVon's and Clara's idea was to collaborate, and artists need to help each other. And in helping each other, we are collaborating. LaVon, we're going to go back to you, and we're going to look at your last 3 pieces, and then we'll come back and look at Clara's last 3 pieces, and then they're going to talk about collaboration.
This work is called Good Trouble, and it was inspired by the great John Lewis. Also, when I was a kid, the Civil Rights Movement. I actually remember some of the great civil rights heroes when I was a kid, and they were always inspiring. These, in a sense, are the people in the march. And they could be, these cards are interchangeable. You can put family pictures there. You can put postcards there. So this is an interchangeable piece. So I wanted the buyer to be involved in this piece. And it's called Good Trouble.
Good Trouble. And Good Trouble sells for $500. And LaVon, does those 3 pieces come with Good Trouble?
Yes, yes.
$500.
And this piece is called Harriet Come By Here. Again, you know, paying homage to the great civil rights leaders. Harriet Tubman is one of my favorite heroes. When she come to get you, you gotta go.
Gotta go.
You gotta go. There ain't no stopping, ain't no turning back. Because, again, these pieces are interchangeable. And the keys, these are keys right here. And the keys represent the power of a woman. Are the keys to the kitchen, the keys to the nation.
The keys to our
To the
minds.
house.
Yes.
And the keys to your mind, and the keys to the generation.
And Harriet Come By Here sells for $400. She is fabulous.
My next piece is called The 3 Girls from Detroit. And if you're of any age, you know who the 3 girls from Detroit is. It's the Supremes. I remember the first time we saw them on TV, everybody in the house went crazy. There was a time Diana, Mary, and my girl Flo. Flo is my favorite Supreme. I love Flo. I love Flo.
And her hair is flowing, LaVon.
Yes, that's why I love Flo. And Flo, Mary, and Diana, Supremes.
The 3 Girls from Detroit sells for $800. Go over your mantle. You can go by your kitchen door, by your front room door. They're ready to go to your homes.
Man, put it by your TV.
Oh, tell them. Three girls from Detroit at $800. Thank you,
So good.
LaVon.
All right.
Clara Debnam, can we hear you, sweetheart?
Piece number 5, Be Light. This piece is about literally releasing those burdens, those that unforgiveness in us, and those stresses that we carry that we have no control over. But if we find a way to release them, I believe we can walk around the world a lot lighter than we currently are. So this is Be Light, a 13 by 19 print on cardstock, available for $30. Piece number 6 is entitled Stick With It. Stick with it. A lot of us want to be consistent in our yoga and our writing that book, or whatever those goals are that we are trying to complete. This will hopefully sit on your wall and help you be consistent in that when you are battling laziness and procrastination. This is 13 by 19 digital print on cardstock. Stick with it. Stick with it. Available for $30. Last but not least, we have piece number 7, The Elephant in the Room. This was a commission I did for a gentleman who identifies as this African American male here. And minorities are often seen in corporate spaces, few in number, and they often feel like they don't have a voice. So you see here, this lovely brown woman here, and notice that his glass of wine is empty and a conversation is happening. This is piece number 7, Elephant in the Room, 13 by 19 print on cardstock, available for $30.
Thank you, my collaborating artists. You are artful, and I'd like to thank you. And you can see more of LaVon Van Williams Jr.'s art at LaVon's Urban Folk Art. And you can see more of Clara Debnam, The Shadow of Art, at claradebnam.com. And we're going to invite you into a conversation between these two collaborating artists. As I said before, collaboration is the utmost level of respect and camaraderie and just love for the world of art and the collection of art and the legacy of art. That was wonderful. And I wish that I could buy all of your art, but I'm going to be fair and let the audience buy your art. Before we go on, I'd like for you to discuss, to tell us why collaborate. Why should artists collaborate? Why is that a great idea?
Well, I'll start. I think collaboration is important just because we can learn so much from each other. LaVon and I have completely different styles, but from taking time to kind of just learn each other's stories and just the way we approach art, I think we've learned a lot over, the 10 plus years that we've known each other. Has helped us to be artists.
I think when you collaborate with other artists, you also grow. You pass on a tradition. You just learn more and more. And I always think an older artist should always pass on tradition to a younger artist. And so I want to tell you, one of my first collaboration was my brother, who had a philosophy of always, giving back. And so this is one of his works. So he was a master wood carver also. So through him, I learned through that tradition of passing on to the next generation so that we can keep the culture alive. So that's why I like to collaborate.
LaVon and Clara, the idea of legacy in art. Why should we have art? Why should we collect art and use art as a legacy for ourselves and children and everybody? Tell me about the legacy of art.
The legacy of art is what keeps our culture alive. It's passed on from generation to generation. Also, it's something that can always be passed down to the next generation within our community. When I first learned art, I learned art from my brother. My brother was a master wood carver who learned from my great uncle. And so he passed it on to me. And now I pass it on to the children within the community. I have an outdoor classroom outside my studio. And the legacy my brother left me was some of his work. And this is one of his works of the great Muhammad Ali fighting Sonny Liston. So that is the value of art. But I think a lot of our art should be more public, so that to express our culture and what we've learned through generations to be passed on.
I believe in that same sentiment, that art is a reflection of what's going on currently. So for instance, I created the art Mr. Good Trouble, who recently passed, John Lewis. There are a lot of open mics and poetry happening here in DC on a regular basis. So that's where the James Baldwin piece was inspired. Nowadays, more individuals are health conscious and going to yoga and doing meditation. So that Stick With It piece was created. And I really believe that art should be more than a pretty picture on the wall. You know, many people may turn to Walmart and Target for, you know, generic images to stick on their walls. But when you come home from a long day of work, what do you want to speak to you? Is it just a generic flower, or is it something that's going to encourage you to keep going despite all that you just encountered on the job or all that we're facing in this pandemic? So I believe that art that preaches, in essence, is something that we as a culture need to invest more in. So, yeah.
Thank you, Claire. Thank you, Clara Debnam, creator of The Shadow of Art. So now that we have presented art to you that you can buy for your homes and your offices and your wonderful spaces, Clara, with her wonderful presentation style, is going to tell you where to go and how to buy this art.
If you are interested in any of the works that you saw on display today, you can visit LaVon Van Williams Jr. and see more of his art at lavonsfolkart.com. That's LOVONSFOLKART.com. If you're interested in any of my digital work, feel free to visit claradebnam.com at CLARADENAM.com. And till next time.
Till next time, have an artful day.